I'd like to clarify something about desire, because I think there's a lot of misconception about desire coming from lack, from a state of lack. And this actually isn't true. While in some cases it can be true, but it isn't true. And I'm going to get into a breakdown why this isn't true and where desire really truly comes from. So I was spending some time reflecting on desire and what desire truly is and where it actually comes from. And I was really tuning into my own desires and kind of just feeling into the energy of those desires and where they're stemming from within me. And as I was tuning in and as I was asking for clarification from spirit about desire, I was getting a lot of messages that really helped me to understand that desire is not a bad thing. And I think a lot of people have that belief that it is something that comes from lack. It is something that comes from not being, grateful for what you have or not accepting what is in the present moment. And that actually isn't true, because you can be someone who accepts the present moment and yet still have desires for greater things in your life, for better things, or for things that you haven't experienced before or that you have never had before. So I want to just really help sort of debunk or help clarify that desire actually comes from contrast. It comes from this need for change. And when you think about people in general and how incredibly multifaceted we each are as individuals, then, how can we say that desire comes from lack when it actually comes from this need for contrast, right? We need to have contrast in our lives. We need to have different experiences in our lives, because those different experiences, they shape and they mold us. They formulate our being. They help us to unravel our being, right? And so this need for change, this need for variety, this need for new experiences all comes from desire. Right? And it's not because you're lacking something, but it's because you want to have a different experience, a new experience. Something, think about how incredibly boring life would be, how much everybody would stagnate if we all just kind of did the same thing all the time, right? If we were never desiring for anything bigger or better or newer or whatever in our lives, then we would actually be stuck. We would actually be in a state of complacency. So without new desires, we would all live our lives exactly the same way, day in and day out. Without a new desire, you would literally repeat the same cycles over and over and over. And actually, a lot of people do repeat the same cycles over and over because they're afraid to desire anything more than what they already have. And see, that in itself comes from lack. The desire is coming from this inner knowing, this calling that there is more out there. There's more for me to experience. There's more for me to have. There is more for me to do. There is more in terms of how I can serve. So connecting to that desire is really, really actually important, because it helps to clarify you on a soul level. It helps you to understand, what am I being drawn to and why am I being drawn towards it? Right? So if you don't have clarity about what new desires you have, you will become complacent, repeating the same habits, the same daily routines, and the same ways of existing that you'll eventually get bored of. We are so multifaceted. There are so many different things that we are capable of doing. There are so many things that we're attracted to, so many things that we want to experience, that so many different things that we're good at, right? None of us are just doing one thing and one thing only, unless it's like a super, super deep passion of yours and it brings you immense bliss and joy. Then yes, I've met teachers like that who absolutely love what they do and they wouldn't do anything else. But see, again, that's a different story, because that is that person's desire, and it's an ongoing desire that ongoingly fulfills them, that ongoingly provides them with that bliss, that joy, that excitement for life that we are meant to experience as individuals. So Desire actually pushes us to try new things and have new experiences, ultimately helping us grow and expand beyond our comfort zone. And that's the other thing, is I want to touch on comfort zone here for a moment, right? If there was no new desire ever within us, we would stay in comfort zones. We would just stay in this complacent energy, always just experiencing the same thing over and over and over. It would be like this incredible loop, that we would be going around in circles in. We're not meant to live like that. So desire does not mean that you don't appreciate what you have in the moment. It doesn't mean that you are not grateful for the current situation, or that you are not in acceptance of your current situation. It does not mean that you are not happy in your current situation or in the current moment. See, this is the key, is that you can have new desires and still be happy in the current moment, and still have acceptance and be in gratitude of everything that you do have and of everything that you have experienced. But that new desire sparks this sort of next level excitement. It also opens your creativity up. It opens up your channels to flow in new directions, in different directions. So it is the most normal thing to desire, as you constantly have experiences that ask you to decide if that experience is something that you want more of or less of. Desire helps you to figure that out. Do I desire more of this experience, or do I desire less of that experience because maybe I didn't like it so much? Maybe it's not something that brought me that fulfillment, that brought me that happiness, that joy. You cannot cease to desire. Okay? It is not something, I don't care how hard you try, you will never be able to turn off desiring. You can't shut it off because it's innately programmed within your soul, because desire is sort of the key or the stepping stone to evolution. It is what helps your soul to evolve, to have new experiences. Without desire, you would not want to have new experiences. You would just be okay with status quo. So it's just a part of and a contributor to your evolution. Without desire, there is no evolution. If you look at any of the great people in the world that we recognize, great poets, great writers or directors or producers or anyone that has ever accomplished anything big, all of those people accomplished those things that were born out of a desire to experience that, a desire to put it forth into the world, their creations, right? There's like so many different ways in which we can express our desires. And actually, it is a deep and burning desire within the soul that typically drives one to take action towards something that is far outside of their comfort zone. If that desire wasn't there, they would never go for it. They would never do it. There literally would not be evolution. So at the end of the day, the real question is not whether desiring is good or bad, whether it comes from lack or doesn't come from lack. That's not the real question. The real question is, at the end of the day, where is your desire coming from? Is it coming from your ego, or is it coming from your soul, from your heart? Because that's where the differentiation needs to take place within you. That's the recognition that you need to have about your desires. Is it just my ego that wants, big money, or is it my ego that wants that $4,000 purse? Or is it my heart that wants it? Is it my, on a soul level, an experience I just wish to have? And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing negative tied to that desire. And the way that you can tell, and the way that you can differentiate of where your desire is coming from, whether it's coming from your ego or from your soul, from your heart, is that desire that comes from the ego is often lack-based or fear-based. So there's a lot of lack attached to that desire. So somebody that's super desperate for money is going to desire more money, but they're going to desire it for the wrong reason, right? They're going to desire that money because they're coming from a space of lack. But even that lack actually comes from a space of inner knowing that they deserve more, that they have a right to more. So at the end of the day, it goes back to the soul knowing its own worth, the soul recognizing that I'm not supposed to live in poverty, that I'm not supposed to live in lack, I'm not supposed to live without things that actually bring me genuine happiness and joy. But still, there is that ego-based or lack-based desire, yes, which can be toxic, and I'm also hearing misunderstood. So it's like misunderstood desire, it's misplaced desire. Or then there is desire that comes from your heart, desire that comes from your soul. And that desire is like this super deep, passionate. There is so much passion attached to that desire. And it feels like a calling. It's like you have that desire, but it's like this calling. It's like it's literally calling you, and it's pulling at your energy and saying, this is for me. This feels right. This feels like it is in alignment with me for my highest good. That's a different kind of desire. So we should keep in mind that we are here to experience life to the fullest and reach our highest potential. We are here to live a blissful, happy, exciting, joyful, abundant, prosperous life. This is our birthright. Every person that comes to this planet to live, to have an experience here, is meant to live in abundance, is meant to live in prosperity, is meant to have all of their needs met, all of their desires met. Particularly if those desires are coming from the soul, if they are coming through your higher self, if they are coming from your heart. We are meant to live a very happy, very joyful, abundant life. And without prosperity, there is no joy because we live in a material world. Our world is built up on this construct of money, of exchanging money. And money is nothing more than spiritual energy. It's a constant circulation. It's just an energy that is in a physical form that we circulate. I give money to you, you give money to me, I give money to the next person for this, and then they give me those goods or services or whatever. We are constantly exchanging. There's nothing wrong with that. Essentially it works. As long as we can do it in a balanced way and as long as everybody has enough, right? The problem in our world today is that we have these beliefs around money being bad because we see that the people that have it and that seems to have a lot of it are misusing it. And so we have this attachment, this connection to money, that money is bad and having a lot of money is, only assholes have a lot of money, or that rich people are jerks or that they're selfish. And that's not true. How we use money comes down to the individual that has it. Is nothing more than a tool. And this is why I'm saying those desires and a desire for money needs to come from a connection that is within the heart space. It's a feeling, it's a knowing. It's knowing your why you want it and how you want to use it, how you want to share it. So we are not meant to live in lack. We are not meant to live in poverty. Because when we do, we're actually being robbed of experiences that inevitably shape us. They shape who we are. They help us to grow, to expand, to have new experiences. New experiences are what grow and expand us. But without money, you can't have new experiences. So lack actually, and not having money, creates stagnation. It prevents us from growing. Money is nothing more, like I said before, but a spiritual energy, a tool in our modern world that we use and exchange with each other for goods, services, and experiences. It is necessary, and it is a good thing, and we can all have a lot of it. And having a lot of it means that you can use, spend, and share more with others. Think about it this way. The more money you have, the more you can help other people. Would you not help People that are less fortunate than you, if you had a ton of money, if you were a millionaire? I think a lot of people would. So going back to desire, remind yourself of all the ways that your specific desires have been good for you and have been good for other people as well. Think of all the ways that people have benefited from your desires. Like, for example, when I desired to become a massage therapist, in my early 20s, and it was something that I really wanted to try. And in doing so, in following through on that desire and becoming a registered massage therapist here in Canada, it allowed me to meet people that I never would have met, really cool people. It also allowed me to make some wonderful connections to help and support and heal people from physical pain from different things that they were going through. Or another example would be like having a desire, which stemmed from, because once I did massage therapy for 17 years, I got bored of it. It was just keeping me stuck and stagnant, and it wasn't fulfilling anymore. It wasn't bringing me joy anymore. And plus, my physical body was really starting to feel the effects of all those years of massaging. And so a new desire emerged within me, and that desire was to become a YouTuber. It was to share messages. My only reason and purpose for becoming a YouTuber was to share messages that uplift and motivate and inspire other people. So from my desire to inspire, to motivate, and uplift other people, I am benefiting other people. Am I not? I am supporting other people in ways that I don't even fully understand, because I don't know what type of effect people necessarily have after watching my videos, or how my videos affect them. I don't know that for sure. Sometimes people leave wonderful comments, and then that gives me some feedback, which is why I always encourage people to leave me comments, to give me feedback, because it helps me to grow. It helps me to understand, how my messages are affecting other people. And it also helps me to understand how I can improve, because I have a desire to improve continuously. So desires are not a bad thing, and they do not come from lack. It's a huge misunderstanding that people have. Desire is also a great teacher, because it guides us towards things that we sometimes think will be a better experience until we actually manifest it, experience it, and then realize it isn't what we want. So desire actually also helps us to have discernment, to understand whether something is in alignment with us or not. This then prompts a new desire, moving us through a constant sifting and sorting, helping us determine what is and what isn't in alignment with our true spirit. So from desire, there's a continuous expansion happening within you. Every single thing that you desire and that you end up manifesting, or that you end up experiencing, or that you end up trying as a result of your desire, helps you to grow in some kind of a way. If the experience turns out to be something that you don't like, then it still helps you to grow, because now you're like, okay, I really wanted that. I really, really thought I wanted that. And now that I have it, I'm realizing that it isn't as fulfilling, or it doesn't bring me as much joy as I thought it would. So that in itself is a lesson. It's teaching you, it's helping you to grow, to learn. And it also helps you to recognize, because this is oftentimes when we desire something and then we get it and we don't end up liking it, that is usually something that we have desired from our ego. And so oftentimes we can very much manifest things that we desire from our ego, and then often find ourselves that it's not what we wanted, that it isn't actually in alignment with our true happiness. It doesn't bring us that fulfillment and joy that we were actually seeking or hoping to get out of it. So desire can be a huge teacher. So there are 4 components, or 4 things to keep in mind when you are focusing upon your desires. And the very first thing that I wrote down was actually humility. It is incredibly important that you first connect to your heart when you are clarifying your desires. So understanding what you want and why you want it is really, really important. And aligning that and making sure that you are aligning what you want and why you want it with your heart, with your higher self, and connecting to integrity. Making sure that what I want and why I want it has good intentions behind it, so that it's not out of greed, it is not out of flashiness, or because I want to show off, or because I want to, show the world I'm this or that, or I want to be perceived in a certain way, but for more humble reasons. So make sure that your desires, and really take some time actually this weekend, and take some time for all of June, for the rest of the summer, really, really clarifying your desires. Get very clear on what it is that you want and why you want it. The second component to desire is openness. It is very, very important that when we desire something, that we remain open to receive what we desire or better. So that openness leaves no limitation. There is no lack whatsoever, because we can often infuse our desires with lack unknowingly. So staying very, very open about hey, this is what I want, universe. This is what I would like it to look like or feel like or whatever. And I am open to you delivering this or something better to me. The third component to desires, or to manifesting your desires, is vibrational alignment. So it is very, very important that you vibrationally align yourself to the things that you want, because we oftentimes get lost in focusing on all of the things that we don't want, and we just keep giving our attention to what we don't want and what is existing or is being perpetuated, because we don't know how to vibrationally align to what we actually want. And vibrational alignment to what you want always, always connects to your emotions. So how you feel about that desire, and this is why it's important for you to know why you want it, and what you want and why you want it. Because when you have very, very sharp clarity around that, then that's going to help you to naturally align to those feelings. It's like, well, I want this because it's going to make me feel so good. And it's not about, I'm not going to be happy in the moment right now. I'm actually super happy in the moment right now, because I now realize that I have this desire, and that just excites me so much. Right? So it's like you bring the happiness, that joy, that desire, is also going to bring you, but you bring that into the now, into the present moment. And you experience it and you feel it in this present moment. Oh my God, it's so incredible. It's so amazing. It feels so good to have it. And when it feels really good to have that thing or that person or that job or that money or whatever it is you desire, when you connect to that and really feel it and live it, that is vibrational alignment with it. And that is actually what draws that desire to you. It brings it in, it just manifests. And in some cases, instantly. And last but not least, and this is probably one of the most important components or aspects of desire, is gratitude. It is so, so important. First and foremost, be grateful to yourself for having the courage to desire something new, for wanting something that will expand you, that will grow you, and knowing now that you know that desire helps you to grow, it helps you to learn. So having gratitude for yourself for having the courage to want to have a new experience and the courage to grow, and then also having gratitude to the universe for listening to your desires, to that order that you have put in with the universe, and being grateful for receiving it, for the delivery of it. Because we are constantly vibrational beings. We are constantly emitting a vibration of frequency, and the universe is constantly responding to that vibration and that frequency. So whatever you are putting out on a regular basis, when it comes to your desires, are you in gratitude of already having it? Are you feeling grateful to the universe because you know and you trust wholeheartedly that the universe is going to deliver that to you? When you are in that type of energy and in that type of alignment, that gratitude will just be proven to you through the delivery. You will be shown, you will be given the exact experience that you were visualizing for yourself, that you were connecting to vibrationally and feeling into vibrationally, emotionally, energetically. We need more humble millionaires in the world. People that are going to manage that money in ways that is going to support this planet, that is going to support humanity. We need more of that. So there's nothing wrong with desire. And there's nothing wrong with desiring to become a millionaire. As long as you want to use that money in ways that not only supports you and your family, but supports other people. Sharing the wealth, sharing the abundance, and sharing in the joy that that abundance and prosperity brings all of us. That in itself is a desire I think many people have, and a fulfillment that we get to experience as a result of that desire. Thank you so much for watching. So I hope you get out there and put some epically awesome desires out there and allow yourself to dream, to grow, to expand, and to have and to experience those desires. God bless.